Hello everyone and welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars review. Today we're going to continue our look at the 2014 LEGO Star Wars sets, and in this review we're going to take a look at a ship that belongs to the Separatist forces. It can be seen very briefly in Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, and it is indeed this set. Number 75042, the Droid Gunship. Now, I've never been a huge fan of the Separatists and the the CIS ships and all that sort of thing, but this one is really cool. I love the design, very reminiscent of the Enterprise from Star Trek, but the less said about that the better. And it's a really cool vehicle, yeah. Tons of features, really cool and fun build, and some great minifigures as well. So definitely worth picking up and adding to your collections. This one currently retails for $44.99 and it consists of 439 pieces. So brick to pound or dollar ratio is very good, and as I said, for 439 pieces it's a nice, substantial and very fun build. Before I begin the review, I'd like to give a big thanks to the guys over at LEGO themselves who were kind enough to provide this set for a review. So big thanks goes out to them, and I'll be reviewing a ton more LEGO Star Wars sets in the near future, so stay tuned for all of those. So this is of course the box that the set comes in, and as you can see we have some fantastic artwork on the front. As I said at the beginning of the review, this set can be seen, or this ship can be seen very briefly during Revenge of the Sith, and it can be seen during the Battle of Kashyyyk. You see these things fly overhead very briefly. Yeah, very cool indeed. As I said, this is the box with some fantastic artwork. We also have a rundown of the minifigures included. We'll talk about those in just a second. And then on the reverse side we have some action shots of the set and also a rundown of some of the features. So I'll give you a look at all of those momentarily. So there we go, that is the box for the Droid Gunship. So we'll begin this review by taking a look at the minifigures included, and we'll kick things off with the more measly figures, I suppose, from this set, and those are the droids. These are of course a super and regular battle droid, and more than anything else these are simply cannon fodder for your clones and Republic vehicles, and a pilot for the Droid Gunship itself. The battle droid can be slotted into the cockpit, so I'll show you that later on in the video. But yeah, not a massive fan of these minifigures. Obviously the super battle droid looks a little bit cooler and more interesting than the regular battle droid, but none of them really do much, and there's not a great deal you can do with them in terms of deco, so yeah, more cannon fodder than anything else. As you can see, the battle droid does indeed include a blaster rifle, and the cool thing about that is that you don't actually have to take it out of the figure's hand to place him in the cockpit. So it has its pluses, I suppose. So those are the two Separatist figures that we get with this set. Next up we have a clone trooper, and this is of course a Kashyyyk trooper. Now you may have seen these guys in one of my previous reviews. I gave you a look at the Kashyyyk Troopers Battle Pack not so long since, and these guys are featured in that set. Very cool minifigure. As you can see, he comes with a blaster rifle as well. This is different to the version that was included with the Battle Pack. The blaster rifle that we got with those figures was a more cylindrical design, and it shot out the little clear red studs. So it's nice to have the, I'll say screen accurate, but you know, the more collector friendly blaster with this figure. As you can see, there are some fantastic prints on this figure's torso and legs, and also on the helmet as well as around the back of the figure. And of course the helmet can be removed to reveal a rather angry looking clone trooper underneath. It's a very cool figure there. And finally we get an update of a previous release. This time around is this guy. That was a terrible impression. a bit weird as well. But it is of course Chewbacca. Now as I said, this is an update to the previously released Chewbacca figures that we've seen in the LEGO Star Wars line. From what I can tell, this head and torso piece is brand new, not just in terms of paint applications, but in terms of overall sculpt. You know, it's brand new to this figure, so it's really nice to see that updated. And then obviously the paint decoration has been updated as well. So you've got the fur highlights, you've got the eyes are more defined, the teeth. Just the overall facial features of Chewie have been, you know, really brought forward and really noticeable in this figure, and I think that looks great. I'm really, really impressed with that. Definitely creates the definitive version of a LEGO Chewbacca. Obviously, you've got the silver bandolier as well down there, and you've also got some fur highlights in the legs. Also, Chewie wouldn't be complete without his famous bowcaster, so that's included as well. And this creates a really, really cool figure. And in my opinion, this should be the Chewie that we see in all future LEGO Star Wars sets. I'm not saying that Chewbacca should be included in every LEGO Star Wars set, but for all the sets that include Chewie, this is the one we want. Really, really cool figure. So there we go. That is a rundown of the minifigures. That's the Scout Trooper, or the Kashyyyk Trooper, and Chewbacca. And of course, the less impressive battle droids. So that's going to cover it for the minifigures. I'll zoom out of my ugly mug. And now let's take a look at this rather awesome set, which is falling apart as we speak. That's never good, is it? Some of these pieces have come away from the set, which is not what we want to happen. There we go. It's fixed. So, this is the Droid Gunship, as you can see, and it's a very, very cool vehicle. As I said at the beginning of the review, the design is somewhat reminiscent of the Star Trek Enterprise, but as I said, I'm not much of a Trekkie, so the less said about that the better. I'm just going to darken the camera just a little bit just to bring out some of those details in the set. So yeah, really, really cool design. I love the look of this one. Very, very cool indeed. And yeah, it makes a great, great set to counteract your Republic forces. It goes really nice hand in hand with the ATAP set that was released earlier this year, and I'll be giving you a look at that sometime in the near future. We'll run through features first, and then we'll talk about the general look and some of the deco on this one. Just get rid of all the dust. It's been sat around for a while. The first feature is located at the front. I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit for you to show you some of this. As you can see, there are two ball turrets at the front of the ship. They're a little bit skew with at the moment, but we'll rectify that. These are the same ball turrets that were included on sets such as the Republic Gunship and the ATTE that were released earlier last year, I believe. So they don't quite rotate 360 degrees, but they're very posable and you can get them in a variety of positions. You've also got this pivoting cannon at the front of the vehicle. And then of course you have the opening cockpit, which just lifts up like so, and you can then proceed to take your battle droid figure and lay him down in the cockpit area, just like that. As you can see, he does somewhat lay down more than sit down. And LEGO have gone to the extra mile of including a targeting screen actually on the roof of the cockpit. So obviously in a traditional starfighter or vehicle you'd have the control panels and targeting computers at the front, but obviously LEGO have taken into consideration the fact that this figure lays down, that they've included all those controls on the top, which is really cool. And as you can see, it's a stickered piece that depicts a silhouette of an ATAP. So even more reason for it to go hand in hand with the ATAP Walker set. So that's the cockpit area. Also, this whole cockpit piece can be removed from the vehicle, creating a sort of escape pod. As you can see, it just pulls out like so, and it's on a ball and socket joint, so you can pose it around while it's on there as well. As for the rest of the ship, there's really not that much going on in terms of features. You do get a couple of rocket launchers on the side, and as you can see, these fire the flick missiles, which you just give a tap at the end and they'll go firing out. and you'll lose them halfway across the room, I can assure you of that. You get one at the other side as well. These launchers are on pivots, so you can adjust the pose and position of those as well. You can have them raised up or lowered down depending on your target. You've also got some really nice pieces used on the top of the vehicle to create all these really smooth and cool shapes and curves. As you can see at the back, we do have some stickered pieces to depict some lights at the back. And the final feature that the Droid Gunship has is located on the undercarriage. And as you can see, not the prettiest of designs, but there are a few bombs placed on the underneath of the vehicle. Now these can be released. They're held in place by Technic rods, and they can actually be dropped via a couple of levers located at the back of the vehicle. These can be pulled out to operate each of the bomb, I don't say bomb disposal units, but you know, the bomb launchers, if you want to call them that. Release one at one side will fall out, release the other, and they'll fall out as well. So I'll just try and demonstrate that for you very, very quickly. I'll show you the one closest to camera. As I said, pull the lever out, and the bombs will drop, and you've got this very cool translucent red piece on the end of that, just to give it a much cooler feel. It's a really nice feature, big fan of that one, and I'm a big fan of this ship. Really do like the design. The minifigures are awesome, and as I said, for $44.99 you get 439 pieces, which are all put together to create one fantastic vehicle. So I'd highly recommend you pick this one up. It's a great set, and as I said, will make a great counterpiece for your ATAP if you've picked one of those up as well. So I hope you've enjoyed having a look at the Droid Gunship from LEGO, set number 75042, and I'll be back with some more reviews very soon. So until then, as always, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.